Hey YouTube world, I am back with another video. Today we will be doing the battle of my entire French Parisian mid-range handbag collection. Whew, that was a mouthful. This has been a much anticipated video by all of you as my indie micro brand collection has grown quite a bit over the past few years. Now, we're only focusing on French and Parisian brands today, and we've got 13 bags to cover, so it's a lot. And if you've been with me for a while, you know my mid-range collection is much bigger than what we're seeing today. So if you're interested in a second video that's not the French brands, drop me a comment down below. Very similar to the original video I did almost 2 years ago now. And if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check that out. I'll link it above for you as well as pin it in the comments below. Now, how I'm gonna structure this video is gonna be very similar to how I did my original video. I think you guys like that. It's breaking it down by categories and giving it a score of 5 based on my opinion. And I'm gonna change one of the categories up a little bit, but number 1 is going to be the look/styling. Is it a style with all outfits? Is it a day to night bag? Can I wear it year round? Number 2, functionality. Number 3 is going to be wear and tear. How has the bag held up over the years. Number 4, the price to value ratio, and that's the new category here that I think is quite important. Is it worth your money? Number 5, how often do I reach for this bag? So stay tuned till the end of the video to see who reigns supreme. So grab a cup of coffee, a drink, and let's just get right into it. I'll go through these 13 bags in the order of brands. Some of them I have multiples of, and some of them I just have one from the brand. Let's start off with Polene. This is the Mini Uno, and it is OG. The iconic French indie brand in the most recent years where people have started recognizing these bags on the streets, and it has kind of started becoming mainstream. We were living in the age of maximalism. The bigger the logo, the better. We were loud, we are proud of our logos. Let's spend all of our money on the most expensive bag and the largest logo that you can find. Quiet luxury? No idea. What's that? Now, in the past few years, this bag has been pretty much the epitome of no logos with a fantastic design that's unique enough to put the indie brands on the map, where we all started looking for luxury alternatives. The price surge of all the big luxury like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and the likes of them drove us normal human beings to not fork over wads and wads of money and start waking up and start looking at indie brands like Polene. Mom and pop shops who are doing fantastic work at a great price. It was kind of cool to be different if you think about it, to have a unique design where we aren't just like a bunch of lemmings, running around, where you go into a bathroom and 6 other girls have the same YSL bag. This, I would say, is a modern pioneer, and how I know this is because I wore this bag, this is a couple years ago, and I think I went to Neiman Marcus where I was in the handbag section, of course. I had these 2 sales associate ladies run up to me and were just clamoring over this particular bag and was like, is that a Polene? The fact that they were surrounded by luxury bags like Gucci, YSL, etc., all day, and just kind of, people like that, just like, oh, this is normal, or maybe they're numb to it, right? The fact that they got really excited to see a Polene bag, it really does say a lot. Going down my criteria here, the first one, again, looks and styling. This is such an easy bag to style, whether you want to go casual or if you want to go out on a dinner date. I would say this is so versatile of how you can wear it. And of course, different colors. They have multicolors. There's the one straight color here, like the one I have. I feel like it is definitely the bang for your buck because you can literally wear it any time of the day. When it comes to functionality and the design of the functionality, I think it's fantastic. It's got the little top handle. You also have an adjustable strap. If you want to remove the strap, you definitely can and just wear it like a little clutch or a top handle. Hence the whole versatility where you can wear it formally or casually as a crossbody. The feet at the bottom, of course, all the details, right? The devil is always in the details. You've got a little pocket if you want to slip some cards in there for easy access, you definitely can do so. When it comes to wear and tear, I want to say I've had this bag for 3-4 years at least now. And when I first got it, I did wear the shit out of this bag. So the wear and tear is immaculate. Not a single dent, not a single scratch. And I do not baby this bag. The hardware, there's a little bit of wear at the bottom right here, but again, I put this on the floor, which I should take better care of my bags, but again, this is a mid-range. It's not a $5,000 bag where I need to baby it. And the fact that this has held up phenomenally, I am impressed. Again, this is old Polene, where people, recently have complained about the quality control. This is not something that you have to worry about. If you can find an older version of Polene, still like an OG kind of model, definitely jump on that. I know it's kind of hard for you to differentiate, but I think some of the colors that are no longer produced will be a good indication for you to figure out if it's an older model or not. Price to value ratio. Now, we've gone through multiple price increases with Polene. This originally was about $320, I want to say. So I would have given it a 4.5 out of 5. But now that it is at $470, I'll just kind of bump it down to 3.5. Yes, that's kind of biased just because I knew what the prices were back in the day. But if you are new to Polene, $470 is still a very reasonable price for what you're getting and the quality that you are getting. How often do I reach for this bag? 2 out of 5, and it's not really its fault. If I had not 13, more indie brands, if just looking at what we have today, I have 13 bags, right? I don't reach for it. If I only had 2 bags, I would be wearing this every single day. So this is no fault for me to give it a lower rating just because I have so many new shiny toys to play with. 2 out of 5, but really if I had 1 bag, I would probably give it a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. But for this exercise sake, 2 out of 5, just because I have so many bags to go through. I spent a little bit more time on Polene just because they're an OG and they deserve the attention of putting indie brands on the map here. And to wrap it all up when it comes to Polene, I remember their strategy of working with a lot of influencers years ago to drive brand awareness. They were sending out free bags. I think they were doing sponsorship. I can't remember. But they're now at the point where they're kind of a household name. But you also have to have the quality and the value in order for that strategy to work. If you don't have a great product, gifting, sponsorship, billboards, marketing, if it's kind of a crappy product, that strategy is not going to work. Which brings me to today's partnership with Idyl. Now, I know you've seen Idyl quite a bit. Instead of giving you the whole spiel that you've heard multiple times, let me give you a different perspective on this indie brand, which I'm a big fan of supporting mom and pop shops, similar to why I'm highlighting all of these French indie handbags today, right? At first I was like, do I want to work with Idyl? After mulling it over, I'm like, you try all these indie brands with handbags. Why aren't you testing out indie jewelry brands? And what they're trying to do is drive brand awareness, just like Polene did back in the day. Instead of traditional billboards and TV commercials, they work with everyday consumers like me. I just happen to have a YouTube channel because I like to talk about everything nice, everything handbags. So I broke it down and laid out all of the things I received from Idyl, and I'll insert a clip of my unboxing because I feel like that is a really important experience as I keep yapping here. They reached out to me at a perfect time because I've been interested in jewelry for the past year or so, and if you've been with me for a while, I started out with cheapy Amazon jewelry that would just break after 1 or 2 uses. And I've got a whole entire carcass or graveyard of these cheapy Amazon jewelry. Some of them are turning green, ew. So anyways, they would break after 1 or 2 uses, and I would leave the house wearing a brand spanking new bracelet that I'm excited about, and I would come home to an empty wrist. It's just straight up gone, nowhere to be found, no idea where it went. And there goes $20, $30, $50, and that really just adds up, right? Cost per wear? Yeah, $50 a pop. Let's just put it that way. Then I went into gold plated, gold vermil, yada yada, which is fine. There's a time and place for that. You didn't really see me on my handbag journey from the beginning, but now I am unintentionally documenting my jewelry journey, which has sped up quite significantly given my 15 plus years of handbag experience under my belt. I'm at a stage where I'm leaning towards more real diamonds and solid gold. Believe me, I went down a rabbit hole. Of course, I started my journey by going into the store, like my local jewelers, and they showed me a bunch of options, which is great and all, but they started giving me 3 different prices. And then they proceeded to tell me not to worry about the price. We can talk about pricing later. I'm just like, okay, okay. What does that even mean? Tell me in the comments below if you experience that kind of like, hey, don't worry about the price. Let's talk about pricing later. Let's pick out the piece that you actually love. I'm just like, or is that just me? Do I look like I'm easy to like manipulate? I don't know. Anyways, you know I love to bargain, but sometimes I just want to know what the prices are, at least the starting price, without any of your Mickey Mouse math. And that's what you'll get with Idyl, fair pricing for quality pieces. They stress transparency, which you can find all of the information on their website. What really stood out to me is they're made by their own artisans in-house, which allows them to have in-house quality control. And they do all of this in Antwerp, Belgium, which apparently is the diamond capital of the world, and I had no idea. So what you're paying for with Idyl is beautiful, high quality lab-grown diamonds, and of course their unique designs. Diamonds are just so insanely different when it comes to the sparkle. The modular designs where you can build your own collection on core pieces. Now, Toby, he's streaming. Now, I opted for 2 bracelets and a necklace. So this is the Glow, and then this is the Bliss. These are dainty pieces that you can wear on the daily and not have to take them off. I've had these pieces on for a month straight, shower, walking, exercising. I haven't really needed to take them off at all, just knowing that these are solid gold pieces. And they're just as sparkly as the day I got them. Now, my favorite part about this bracelet is that you are actually looking at 2 bracelets, and it comes with 1 single clasp. Usually if you want to wear a stack of 2 or 3, very similar to my other hand, and you would have multiple clasps, right? And it just doesn't look as nice. Yes, you want to mix and match, and then it kind of just gets tangled. With this, you can mix and match with just 1 clasp, and then if it starts rolling up because you have a watch or whatever, you can just easily pull it apart, whereas this one sometimes gets really difficult to pull apart just because there's multiple clasps and it can start fighting each other. Now, I hope to see more options in the future because with this 1 clasp, you can see you can fit a lot of them, and I can just be super ridiculous and see how many bracelets can I fit into 1 single clasp and 1 wrist. You know I'm a sucker for gold, and you probably are shocked like, oh, she picked white gold? Really? I want gold hardware on my bags most of the time, but when it comes to diamonds, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but I feel like the diamonds shine a little bit brighter and it's a lot more cohesive when it's white gold. But they do have rose gold as well as yellow gold for you to choose from if you want. You can collect all of these different modular pieces in the same color, or if you want to mix and match. Now, when it comes to the necklace, this is called the Thelia, and it's pretty beautiful. Simple yet elegant. The 3 different diamonds, again, screenshots here, equates to half of a carat, which actually looks bigger than half a carat. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think it looks pretty big for what it is. And again, I'm a big person. Now you can build on this with just 1 change and different pendants if you want to start stacking the different pendants, because this one is the 3 diamonds, but they also come with 5 diamonds. And if you want to just like make a mega stack, you can do the 3 and the 5. And it just becomes like 8 of them. Now I wish the chain was a little bit longer, but that's really a me problem. I like to wear turtlenecks and mock necks. Today I have one that's pretty thin, so it easily goes over my turtleneck. But if I wanted to wear a chunky one, it's gonna have to go inside my turtleneck, which, you know, I don't take it off. But if they had a summer length, which what I think this one is, and if they had a winter length where it can go over turtlenecks, I think that would be super cool. Now, there are a lot of choices out there. So what you're paying for with Idyl is their innovative designs, transparency using lab-grown diamonds that have really high quality grades, as well as sustainable gold. They call it green gold. And their experience and quality. They may not be the big luxury brand that you are so accustomed to. And that's also the beauty of it, because it is an indie brand. Prices are much better than if you were to get an Hermes piece. Everyday pieces that you can wear nonstop so that you can get that cost per wear down. I know you get bombarded on IG with ads, and I think it's worth checking out Idyl, so that you have a baseline of what quality should be. All of the pieces that I talked about today will be listed down in the description box as well as pinned comment. If you do decide to take the plunge, use my 10% discount code SOMEHOWADULTING10, because we know less than retail, right? Thanks Idyl for sponsoring me so I can keep this channel going and provide more content like this for you all. All right, on to the next bag. This is the bag that so many of you, I probably want to say the top bag that you all have reached out to me about, asking about the wear and tear. Do I love it still? The questions were just streaming in. And I did purchase this bag back in 2022. They weren't as popular back in the day, but they're starting to get a lot more traction now. And this has been a staple in my collection for very good reason. Diving right into the ratings here, looks and styling. I would say this is a 5 out of 5. I think it is very classic, but also very innovative at the same time. You can see the side of the bag where the magnets are incredibly strong and kind of just look like a little swan, right? This got the top handle, which I love, as well as the crossbody strap. In terms of the functionality and design, there are a couple things that I would probably update this bag with if they do decide to come out with version number 2. This strap has to be attached on the interior side, and there is a very distinct front and a back. Quality of the bag is just fantastic. The magnets here are incredibly strong. If I leave this bag open and I'm just out and about reaching in for stuff, all of a sudden I would just hear this whoosh, and it sucks it closed. So the magnets are fantastic. Now, if I had my way, I would say for a more seamless kind of experience, built-in magnets are always better in my opinion, but the magnets are just so incredibly strong. I don't have to play target practice with it. So 10 out of 10 on that particular aspect of it. I would say at the bottom here, there are no feet. And if it, again, in my way, so maybe I should just bump that down to I would say still keep it at 4 out of 5. If it wants it to be a 5 out of 5, I would say get feet on the bottom here, and that would make it 5 out of 5. The bag is so lightweight that you don't have to worry about getting too heavy. Wear and tear, I would also say 5 out of 5. I've worn this bag quite a bit, not so much recently, which I'll touch on in a second here, but majority of people have asked me about the corners and the wear and tear if there's corner wear. Absolutely none. And I have worn this bag quite a bit, especially when I first bought it and I didn't have, 30 indie brands to go through. When I still had a very manageable amount, I did wear this one quite a bit, and the wear and tear has been better, has been great. Do I want a back pocket? Just going back to the functionality, yeah, I wish there was a back pocket. I don't really need the interior pocket as much, which there is one for a card or two. I would actually prefer a back pocket where I could fit a phone in there. But again, this bag is an open compartment. Ooh, there's a receipt in there. Honestly, not hard for you to grab your phone, or my unfortunate life of having 2 phones, it all fits in there. Price to value ratio. Now, this is where it gets docked a couple points. Just again, this is just my gripe with it. When I purchased this back in 2022, pricing was $360 approximately. Again, this was the currency, dollar to euros were 1-to-1. And based on today's currency, this bag is at $540. So if it was old pricing, I would say 3.5, 4 out of 5. But with today's pricing, 2.5 out of 5. Maybe 3. I'll think about it, and I'll sum everything up below. But again, that's just my gripe when it comes to the price increases. It wasn't like a $25 increase or a $50 increase. This is over a $150 increase, which is significant for a mid-range bag. And also from Fleuron is the Hortensia bag. This is in the regular size, not the mini. Looks and styling, I would say 3 out of 5 because this is a flat bag, a very traditional shape. The special unique part about this is going to be the clasp. And how you open it is just pressing this little button here, and it does come with a crossbody strap, which you can actually detach. So I would say 3 out of 5. Functionality and design, it is a very malleable leather, very similar to the mini swan, so you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here. I would highly recommend that you go with the regular size as opposed to the mini size. I feel like it doesn't fit as much. And because Fleuron's leather is very lightweight, you don't have to worry about the bag being incredibly heavy if you fill it to the brim. I do love how there is a back pocket for you to fit your phone in there. Very, very convenient. And you can wear it as a shoulder and or a crossbody strap without having to change the strap out. When it comes to wear and tear, 3 out of 5. The reason is not because of the leather. The leather has worn beautifully, nothing bad to say about that, and there goes a penny. It's mostly the clasp. It kind of bleeds into the functionality and design just because when you have the bag empty, it's hard, very similar to the pochette Matisse, where it's hard for you to click open, close the bag. But when you have stuff in there, it's not a problem. But when it comes to wear and tear, my biggest gripe is definitely on the actual metal itself. You see how it is completely dented up. And it's just because of the pinhole enclosure here where you have to play target practice. There's a lot of little mini dents here. Honestly, I don't even know how that happened because there's not, I guess the edges of this hardware right here made the little dents up here. Is it the biggest deal? No, it's not because it's on the inside. But for the price that you're paying for this particular bag, which is my next point, I would imagine, why can't you just make this a magnetic enclosure, very similar to the Mini Swan, where their magnet quality is fantastic. Price to value ratio. This bag, when I purchased it, was $530-ish. I would have given it 3 or 4 out of 5, but now with the significant price increase at $720, 2 out of 5. It just gives a very salty taste in my mouth when it comes to that. However, would I pay $720 for this particular bag today? Probably not. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Would you pay $720 for this particular bag, knowing what I just told you? How often do I reach for this bag? 2 out of 5. Again, just because of recent months, I've got new bags to play with and test out for you all. I don't reach for this bag very often, but you can see that I've actually used this bag quite a bit, which is why the wear and tear, especially in the beginning, which is why you see all of the pinhole dents happening there. Moving on to Beracamy. This is the only bag I have from this Parisian brand. This is called the Empiricism bag. And to me, this is a very functional bag, kind of a Celine Romy dupe. I did a whole entire video on this, so definitely go check that out. For looks and style, just to kind of speed things up here, 2.5 out of 5. Is this the most innovative design? No. My gripe with this particular bag is probably just the line down the middle, and then there's the little tab with their brand name on there. It would be much more seamless if it was just one straight piece of leather. Maybe they do a little bit of a design like a logo here, or just leave it logoless. When it comes to the styling, yes, you can wear this day to night, and you can also wear this anywhere. Would it be more casual? I would say also that's probably why I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. When it comes to functionality and design, 4 out of 5, because this is literally the most functional bag you can ever have in a slouchy bag. The quality of the zipper is fantastic. You can turn this 7 different ways, whereas the Celine Romy you can only wear it as a shoulder bag. But basically what you do is take this little loop right here and you undo it and then turns it into a longer strap. I've used that functionality multiple times where I went from a top handle to a shoulder bag to a crossbody without having too much trouble and just making it into 7 different functionalities. I think the design is fantastic. The wear and tear is 4.5 out of 5. Honestly, actually, I would say 5 out of 5. Let's just give it 4.5 out of 5 just because the design here, I'm cheating a little. 4.5 out of 5. Now, corner wear, the hardware is beautiful, not a single scratch on it, and I have worn this quite a bit, mostly to run errands. Price to value ratio, if you don't want something very flashy like this, I think this is fantastic. It's priced at around $320. I would say 4 out of 5. How often do I reach for this bag? 3 out of 5. Just because this is more of a casual bag. I don't wear it to dinner. I mean, I can, but I generally go for something like this if I'm going to dinner. Moving on over to Ateliers Auguste. This is the Mini Marley. You've seen me feature this bag nonstop just because I love this bag. So jumping right into it, looks and styling, 4.5 out of 5, just because it is one of my favorite silhouettes where it's the top handle. It does come with a crossbody strap, the beautiful gold hardware, and it's got the mock lizard, which you know I love mock lizard. So again, 4.5 out of 5. One thing I would add to it is I wish there is a back pocket. I brought this to Paris. I can wear it during the day, go to the office with it, and go to dinner with it. It is just a multifunctional bag that you can wear from day to night just because of the classic design, and you don't have to worry about it being too casual or too formal. Functionality and design. This is an extremely functional bag. The top handle with the magnetic enclosure, I just love it. And if you want extra security, there is a zipper, which works fantastic. You can turn this adjustable strap to be a shoulder or a crossbody. When I use a strap, it's mostly going to be crossbody. Or if you want to just wear it as a top handle, the magnets are ridiculously strong. Can you hear that? And of course, this is going to be gold plated. So I just think, oh, also the feet at the bottom, just phenomenal. I love having feet at the bottom. When it comes to wear and tear, this is where this bag is going to get docked a little bit, because there are certain areas that I found has worn a little bit more than you would see with these other bags. I would give it a 3 out of 5. But again, going to how often, jumping around here, how often I reach for this bag, 4.5, 4 out of 5. I wear this bag so much, which is why it contributes to a little bit more wear and tear. The wear I see is not going to be the corners like you usually would expect. No wear on the feet, because I had some wear on my Polene's feet, but this one has been immaculate. I put this on the floor outside when I'm having brunch. The only wear I would say that you should be mindful of is on the side right here. The glazing has worn off a little bit, and I think this has attribute to me wearing it, walking 25,000 steps. That's equivalent to like what, 7 or 8 miles every day. And then I wore it as a crossbody, so it started rubbing against my jeans. And that is inevitable when you have so much friction, which is why this has happened. Only on this side, because I think this is on the side of me that I wear more, whereas this one is not touching anything as I'm wearing it crossbody. So something to think about. Price to value ratio. They did do a price increase. Now this price increase is much more reasonable than what Fleuron did. It went from about $500 to $559 or $60. So it's like a $40 to $60 increase. Again, over the years, much more reasonable. So I would say 4 out of 5. Highly recommend. How often do I reach? I already talked about this, 4 out of 5. So one of my favorites for many reasons, and many of your favorites as well. The next bag is also from Ateliers Auguste, and this is called the Capucine. This is in the regular size, not the mini. So when it comes to the looks and styling, I would say 3 out of 5 because it is a very classic design. You can say that this is a dupe. I would give it a 3 out of 5 just because it is much more formal. I feel like I had a hard time styling this because I have to be dressed up a little bit more, maybe with a flowy skirt or a pleated skirt or maybe a dress to wear this, or perhaps some like more formal slacks. It's harder for me to pair this one because it's not like a grained leather. It's not a mock croc. It is this classic, beautiful, smooth skin leather, which I don't know, maybe it's just me. It just seems like a much more formal bag. So that's why I don't reach for it as often. Functionality and design, I will say this is definitely a 2.5 or 2 out of 5 just because I did use it a couple times. Because the flap is a little bit shorter, you see how this one's much longer. It is a newer bag, so that it is quite stiff. So for me to go into the bag and try to reach for things, it was a little bit cumbersome. And it does have 2 different compartments and a zipped one in between. So it wasn't hard to find my items, but just reaching for it. And it's a very slim profile bag. Very similar to the Kelly bag. If you have a Kelly bag, yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's a holy grail because it's Hermes. It is the most annoying bag to use. This one, obviously not nearly as much just because this is also a pinpoint open and close. So it's better than fumbling around with the singles when it comes to the Kelly. And I do love the design of this right here, where it is not going to be like this one, where you have to attach your strap to this actual D-ring right here. They kept it separate so that it doesn't fight or rub against, again, just the minor details. Price to value ratio. This is priced around $680. I would say, I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. This is a very substantial bag. Compared to the Fleuron, again, I'm not trying to poo-poo Fleuron, but if you look at this objectively, this is $720 for a similar tier bag, I wanna say, and it just, paying less for this bag, which is much more, like I said, substantial than this. Honestly, higher quality than the Fleuron, just because this is not gold plated. Yes, it has more intricate design than this, but it's not gold plated, right? So I don't know, just let me know what you think. I did an entire interview with the co-founder Laurent talking more about their brand when I was in Paris last year. Go check out that video. It is super fascinating. And speaking of which, if you are fascinated by this content, hit that subscribe button for me so that my content like this can reach a wider audience and help me grow my channel and grow this entire handbag community. If you are returning, you know what to do. I rely on your likes and comments every single week. Next up, we have the RSVP Dual. Getting straight into it, looks and styling, I would say 3.5 out of 5. I was a little turned off by the little Mickey Mouse buttons here, but I've started to grow to like it. But right off the bat, I would say 3.5 out of 5. Is it the most innovative design? No, but it is very quirky and unique, and I do, again, starting to like that. Looks and styling, the styling of this bag, I would say this can work day to night. If you want to wear it a little bit more casually, or if you want to wear it to dinner, you would just, instead of a crossbody or shoulder, you turn it to kind of like a shorter top handle. And then it is a pretty substantial bag. The design on this and the functionality of this, I think, is fantastic. I'm gonna give this one 4 out of 5, just because the sides of this, you can see how the D-rings are completely unique, and I do love that. And point for built-in magnets, very strong. And then at the bottom, you can see the RSVP embossed into the leather bag. Very inconspicuous. You also have a number attached to your bag because they only make 500 each for each of these bags. The interior is very flexible. I was actually just using this bag yesterday. We've got an interior pocket. It can get a little heavy, so keep that in mind. The wear and tear on this bag, 4 out of 5, just because I haven't had this bag for that long, so I don't want to give it a 5 out of 5 just yet, but the wear and tear so far has been fantastic. When it comes to the price to value ratio, $495. 4, almost 5, 4.5, 5 out of 5. When it comes to this, I think under $500 for this quality, this is what I'm looking for when it comes to a mid-range indie brand. Let's talk about the RSVP Munchkin bag. Looks and styling, 4.5 out of 5. Again, once I got over the little Mickey Mouse eyeballs here, they call it the golden eyes. Once I got over that, I actually really like the style. Love the mock croc in the navy. They did a fantastic job when it comes to the texture and the print of the mock croc. Very similar to the dual bag. You can see the interior built-in magnets. The RSVP deep embossed in here is harder to see just because it is a darker bag and it's got the texture of it. It is an incredibly lightweight bag. So when it comes to functionality and the design of it, 4 out of 5. If it had feet on the bottom, it would be 5 out of 5. The wear and tear, 5 out of 5. I'm surprised how many times I have used this bag and how often I reach for it because of the size and the functionality of it. You would be surprised that this mini bag, because it is not a dual compartment, you can fit a ton of stuff in here. I'm shocked. Again, wear and tear, I've peeled off the sticker for this. Not even hairline scratches on the hardware, which is shocking. Price to value ratio, they still have this particular bag at $380 on their website, but I think the new batches did go up in price by just a little bit at $425, or maybe it's that particular batch is only $425. I'm not 100% sure, but this one, I would say 5 out of 5 for how much I love it, how much stuff I can fit in it, and how often I reach for it, which is 4 out of 5. The next one is Masion Kitsune, which is their Eddie bag. It is what they deem themselves as their iconic bag, very similar to the Fleuron and just any box bag flap. Is this the most special bag? No. The design functionality is pretty straightforward. I would give the looks and styling a 3 out of 5 just because it is a very casual bag. The most special thing about this is really just the little fox on here, very whimsical, and that's what I love about this bag. If you take this little buckle away, I was just like, it's okay, it's cool, it's nice. It's a nice burgundy bag. I kind of like it, but I wouldn't take a second look at it, which is why it's getting a 3.5 out of 5. It is a very functional bag. It is also the pinhole enclosure, but not similar. I keep picking on Fleuron, but this one, you don't have to play target practice, and it's just a really easy bag to use where you just flip it open and close. So I would say this bag is 4 out of 5. It's just because they made this bag features that people like to this bag, where there's 1, 2, 3 different compartments with a bunch of credit card slots. Just very simple, straightforward. It markets to the general consumers, the mass consumers. They were very smart about that. And then make it very fun and whimsical by having the little gold fox on there. It is brushed gold. No wear and tear on that. So I would say this is 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 for the wear and tear, just because it is not, it's not the highest quality bag. Like, this is not something I would say it screams luxury. It screams mid-range. I think it just screams mid-range, and there's a time and place for it. So I do enjoy wearing this bag. I do get a lot of attention saying how cute this fox is. Price to value ratio, I did get this on sale, but retail is $5.95. So I would say 3 out of 5 if you're just looking for something that is hard wearing. You do get a lot of fingerprints, smudges on here. You can definitely wipe it away, but there's little things that I would fix about this. It is a little bit wavy when it comes to leather. Like I said, it screams mid-range. How often do I reach for this bag? I would say 3 out of 5 as well, just because it's a fun, easy bag to kind of just run and grab and go if I'm going somewhere casual. Like, I took this to the Nashville Zoo. It was the perfect bag for Nashville Zoo. All right, we're at home stretch here. I knew this was gonna be a super long video. The next one is Ami Paris, the top handle Paris bag. I think that's what they call it. Not the most creative. Running through my little criterias here, looks and styling, 3 out of 5, just because this is a very casual bag. This is also a very acquired taste. The leather and the color is going to be a little bit more casual. I can't see myself wearing this to a formal dinner. The opening is also a pinhole enclosure, but it actually is kind of like a pinhole enclosure, but also a magnet. You see that? So fantastic design there. It is a very rigid bag, so moving on over to functionality and design. It's a small bag, but it is very rigid. So I would say 3.5 out of 5. This one looks even smaller than this. It fits more stuff than you can fit here just because of the slim profile. It's got multiple compartments, so that takes away from how much stuff you can fit in there. So I would say 3 out of 5. The strap is detachable, so you can wear it as a top handle. So there's a little bit of versatility in there. No back pocket, but it is pretty easy for you to get in and out of the bag. Wear and tear right now is 5 out of 5, but I'm gonna have to demerit a little bit just because you can see this line here, right? I don't think that's gonna wear very well in the future, but I haven't worn this bag enough to tell you for sure, but you can see that already, right? So right now it's still 5 out of 5. And this grain hardware is very, very nice and sturdy. So I can't imagine getting marks on here moving forward. I still really like this bag a lot. I just feel like the color is fantastic. The little heart and A, super cute. Price to value ratio. Okay, this is kind of a doozy. So they have this retailed at $1,110, which I think is definitely not worth the price. So if you pay retail, 1 out of 5, completely 1 out of 5. I would not pay over $1,000 for this bag. There are plenty of deals out there. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely follow me there because I do find these bags that I like and curate all these deals for you in my stories on Instagram. Usually Instagram is just easier for me to blast all these deals because good deals don't last very long. I got this around half price, a little under half price, more than half price, $500-ish. And if you're able to get this at the $500-ish range, I think it's pretty worth it. So 3 out of 5 for its unique design and the leather. Certain quirks about this that I would totally change. How often do I reach for this bag? 3 out of 5, just because I have to plan out what I'm bringing that day. It's not like the dual bag. It's not like the mini Marley or even the RSVP where I could just make like no brainer. Throw everything in there. We're good to go. This one, I do have to plan a little bit more. All right, 3 more bags. I'm starting to fill up here with a lot of little top handles flying everywhere. This one is from the Leo Et Violette, the Gianni, the Gianni baguette. Looks and styling, I think this is a very classic, unique style. More casual than anything. If this was a chain strap, I think you can definitely wear this from day to night. So I would say 3 out of 5. This is a very unique design where it twirls around. Very easy to use. I think on the back also there's a built-in magnetic back pocket. So I love that. One big main compartment with a little pocket and then also a front compartment here. Functionality and design, I want to say this is going to be like 2.5, 3 out of 5, mostly because of the strap. I hate it when companies produce bags that has 2 different straps where they're forcing you to commit to one single day that you can only wear this entire day as a shoulder, or if you want to wear it as a crossbody. Like, don't limit us and force us to have to carry around a longer strap, which this is a small bag to begin with. Design the strap so that you can easily change it from a short, like this one, where you can make it shorter or longer in just one go. So this gets docked to like 2.5, 2-ish out of 5. Wear and tear, I would say this one is 3 out of 5, just because I don't see, there's a little nick here, but that's probably me. But no corner wear other than that. It's just like a dent on the side. It's not even like the paint's not coming off or anything. It's so minute. I didn't even notice it until now. But this one, 3 out of 5, because you can see the strap, it's just kind of hang out there. If they had a better design, it probably won't just sit like this. So if you are out on, you know, lunch or dinner, having your bag sit there and just doesn't look very nice. It's kind of limpy, right? I'm just nitpicking here, all right? Price to value ratio. This one is currently retailing at $430-ish. I would say 3 out of 5. It's still under that $500 mark, so I think it's fantastic. Do they use the highest quality hardware? No, it's kind of a brushed gold hardware, but there's all of this design element that makes up for, I think, the quality of the bag. I'll say 3 out of 5. How often do I reach for this bag? At this point, 1 out of 5, just because, again, you see how many bags I'm going through. However, what deters me sometimes is knowing the fact that I have to commit to a shoulder bag and or a crossbody, knowing that there is the option to move back and forth, but you just have to like commit. So there's a little gripe with this, but I should be using this one. It actually kind of got forgotten. It got forgotten. Second to last bag is the Leo Et Violette dual bag in the tote shopper. Looks and styling, 3 out of 5, I would say, just because it's a regular tote. It looks nice, nothing crazy about it, nothing innovative about the actual tote itself, but the lock is super cool because it is a self-enclosure, kind of a self-closing. If you press on it, you see how it like twists back to where it's supposed to be. So I thought that was super cool. Hence the 3 out of 5. No feet at the bottom, especially for a suede bag. I think they should add feet to the bottom. But again, looks and styling, this is something that is more casual. I feel like you can get away with going to a little bit more of a formal dinner with this, just because totes in general, well, not for like a, you know, black tie event or anything, but to a formal dinner, I think the suede makes it feel a little bit more formal. I don't know if you feel that way, but functionality and design, there's not much to say about it. I would just say 3 or 4 out of 5, just because it's a tote, right? You can throw a bunch of stuff in there. You could throw your laptop in there. I like how interior is going to be beige as opposed to a darker color, which ends up with any tote, a dumping ground, a black hole. The wear and tear is 3 out of 5. Just because it's suede, yes, I sprayed it down with like a suede protector. However, suede is just going to have more wear in general than your traditional, you know, mock croc or leather. So right off the bat, yes, I haven't used this bag. There is no visible wear and tear. As of right now, 3 out of 5. Price to value ratio, 4 out of 5 at $521. It is a pretty substantial bag. It's got a lot of very proprietary hardware right here with the design. So I would say 4 out of 5. I would definitely spend money on this. Probably if it gets upward of 5, like 600, 700, I would say pass on this, but it is at that tipping point where I think it's still worth it for you to spend around $520. Did I cover how often do I reach for this bag? I'm like at a loss. I've gone through so many bags. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 just because I haven't had the opportunity or work trips, because this is something, to me, more of a work trip kind of bag where you need to bring your laptop. I'm not so much of a tote person, so it's got a lower rating when it comes to that, just because I don't wear totes that often. Whew, I am kind of out of breath. The last bag from Soeur. You guys taught me that, and I'm saying that correctly. Soeur. Winnoa bag. Another suede bag. Looks and styling, 3.5 out of 5, just because I think this is unique. Something I can wear more casually, which is why it's got a lower rating. It's not something I can wear to dinner as a, like, you know, formal bag like this one. This, it's not like on the other spectrum, but I think this is just a super unique bag. Is this a forever bag? Probably not, but if I want to jump on a trend, I might as well spend around a couple $100 as opposed to a couple $1,000 to jump on that trend. You know, when it comes to suede and the asymmetrical look, it kind of looks like one of those, what do you call those? I don't remember, like a gourd, a drinking gourd. Functionality and design, 3 out of 5. Is it the most functional bag? No, you can definitely crossbody this or shoulder this. And then the interior does come with a pretty luxurious inner pouch where it's a zip compartment, because this is just straight up an open bag and things can definitely fall out of it pretty easily, hence they included this. So it does get a little bit cumbersome when you have to open this and then unzip the bag to get to your stuff, but it's still a really fun bag to try out some trends. Functionality wise, again, 3 out of 5. When it comes to wear and tear, just because it's suede and it's still newer, I've used this maybe once or twice, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I actually have all of these numbers written down and I'm changing it as I'm going, just because I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it and talking it through with you guys, kind of changing up the ratings here. How often do I reach for this bag? 1 out of 5, just because I feel like this is something you have to plan your outfit with, as opposed to a bag like this where it probably will go with any outfit that you have. Price to value ratio that I forgot to cover. This retails for $560. I would say 2 out of 5 if it was at $560. I did get this one on sale from 24S and I think it turned out to be like 200-ish. So because it's about 200-ish, I would say 3 out of 5, just because this is a very unique acquired taste. It's not something that you will keep in your collection forever, so you don't want to spend that much money on it. But if it's at the discounted price, I would jump on it just so you can try it out and have something very trendy, but also kind of quirky at the same time. Let's wrap things up and let me take a second to line everything up in order of points. You should take a guess if you can just do mental math in an Excel spreadsheet to see who is the winner. Okay, I lined everybody up and my table's not big enough for everything to fit in one screen, but just looking at the furthest away from me, some of these bags aren't standing up. And I think that's part of the reason why the ratings are a little bit lower, because I like my bag to be able to stand up on its own. Coming in the last place, they collectively have done 12, 13, and 14. I did go back in and fudge numbers a little bit based on once I looked at this line up, and it was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna arrange these like 12, 13, and 14 for these particular bags. So that last group there are my C students. These are my B students that range from 15 to 17-ish points. The Maison Kitsune, the Ami Paris bag, the Fleuron bag, the Capucine bag, and then the Et Violette dual bag, tote shopper. These are my B students. It's not something I go for immediately. You have to plan for them. There's certain quirks about it. So these are my B ranges. And then lastly, here are my A students. You've got the RSVP dual, Mini Swan, the Polene, Mini Marley from Ateliers Auguste, and the RSVP. My A students, I would go and use interchangeably, but if you want to know who won this whole entire battle, it shocked me as much as probably will shock you. The RSVP Munchkin bag in the mock croc specifically. I don't know, this is just such a well-rounded bag, and it came out to be, once I did my Mickey Mouse math, it came out to be about 24, 23 points out of 25. This is just adorable, functional, wear and tear all around. I'm shocked as you are, just because I made fun of these golden eyes in the beginning, but the more I use it, the more I love it. And I just keep gravitating towards this bag. Now, I hope you found this to be entertaining and it gives you a nice range of Parisian brands that you can choose from. It may appear I've given some of these bags a lot lower scores, especially the last few, but that's just me being hypercritical because this was a really hard exercise. I actually love all of these bags, which is why they're still in my collection. If you watch my original Battle of the Indie Brands, and you have been with me for a while, you know I'm ruthless when it comes to getting rid of bags. If I don't like it, it's gone. She gone. So the fact that these are still with me says a lot. While some of them are recent additions, we'll see what they go, see how long you can stick around for. So drop a comment down below to let me know your thoughts. Do you have any of these bags? Are my assessments correct? Is my rambling correct? And let's just wrap this up. This video has been long enough. Again, thanks to Idyl for sponsoring this video so I can keep this channel going and of course providing us great luxury alternatives that are indie options. So go check out their products, utilize my code somehow adulting10 for 10% off site-wide. I'll leave another luxury alternative playlist here, and to check out all of these bags I covered today in a little bit more detail. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see y'all next time.